Hey guys. Okay, some girls reporting, just kind of having some fun with some stuff. Um, I haven't been around. My body is just messed up, and I've it's just things you couldn't imagine, you know. And you go through periods of life like that. So I guess I'm in one of them. Um, okay, so I feel that the biggest. I'm going to go to this. Well, let's look at this first. I feel the biggest problem with Meghan and Harry, and everybody talks about money and blah blah blah. Well, okay, and that she wanted to go and cash in on Prince Harry and all this shit. Money in the U.S. I don't know how to put it. It's out there. She could have pretty much picked anyone. I don't necessarily think that was her main motive. I mean, I think she could have probably scammed herself into a marriage with anyone with some cash. She would have probably had to have gone for an older guy. But I don't think she's picky. And just look at Harry. He's just like a loser. He's just a weak loser. And mainly, I was listening to a podcast today, and basically right now, let's get to this picture if I can get to it. Right now, and I'm not saying this picture is CGI. You could pretty much CGI almost anything, or AI with AI and CGI. I mean, it's so easy just to manipulate photos. And I was listening to a podcast where the person that was doing it said Stalin was doing it. I mean, this shit goes back to like the 1900s, early 1900s, early stages of or it goes back to like World War I, World War II, I think, right? I don't know. I'm not, you guys are a little bit more up on things like that than I probably am. Everybody has their different talents. So when I see certain pictures of Sparkles and this supposed child with hair, I'm not going to say it look weird hair and a weird face, but I will say it because I don't believe the kid is real, and I don't believe that. I mean, I think that it's a fake AI picture. It's a very bizarre looking hair. I mean, I've seen this kid with bright red hair, and then with darker hair, because apparently his hair color is changing. I mean, he's not that old. Hang on, I'm just going to grab water here periodically, okay? And, honestly, I mean, your hair is going to basically, stay the same color for the first few years of your life. And as you get older, it changes a little bit. We can even see this right here on, why can't I remember Catherine's daughter's name all of a sudden? Oh my God. I think I am kind of like, I have so much on my mind. Okay. So, oh my God, this is awful. Louis, William, and Charlotte. Oh God, am I fucking stupid? All right. I have a lot on my mind, so you have to excuse me. But I have extra time to do a lot of critical thinking, and I'm spending hours a day on various topics. So let's kind of apply it to this, okay? I'm going to read, this is Tatler, okay? The royal family produced a classy crop of Christmas portraits for 2023 as the glamorous Wales proffer a casual, cool thunderbolt of an image, and the king and queen opt for cheery coronation pomp. Well, they're older. Yeah, it's going to be different. What would you call William and Kate? Gen Xers? I don't know. Kicking back in a 90s Levi's ad. Okay, so as a person that, especially in the 90s, was constantly buying clothing for work and for casual, because, we actually had department stores and malls and shit back then. And not to be sarcastic. And, I was shopping at Marshall Field's and Boston Store and, Express Limited mostly. And, the new styles were coming out pretty much on a weekly basis. I mean, if you just look at like the fashion of Princess Diana and trace that back from 1990 till when she passed away, you can, that gives you a good idea of how, there was always a transition, and it was pretty cool. I don't remember Levi's being, I wore Levi's when I was out camping and on a motorcycle and shit. I always had a pair in my closet, but, I know like in the early 90s, like 92, we had jeans day at work. I didn't generally wear Levi's. I wore mainly Guess jeans. They were my favorite. And I always had bought, the latest style that was coming out. And I always just bought Guess, Guess as in, Guess jeans. Remember those? So I remember going to a concert, more like, was I in the early 80s in Chicago? And I wasn't even legal to go in there. I wasn't even 21. And I saw these girls wearing these really cool Guess jeans with high heels. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to do that look. So I did. I went shopping, to look for just the right thing that I thought looked decent on me, So, but, they're maybe going back to, it doesn't matter. A Levi's ad in the 90s. Okay. Casual cool has come out of nowhere in the Wales 2023 Christmas card. Well, that's not necessarily true. They've dressed like this before. Diana kind of tried to do something like that with Charles after they were married. They both had on, not polo shirts, but, button down, kind of preppy looking. Prince William even looks in danger of sparking up a Marlboro Red. For goodness, would that be so bad? What's the screeching sound? Who the fuck wrote this article? Is that him leaving the chute on two wheels? I don't particularly like this. I think it's a nice family picture. And I think it's classic. It's chic. And 10 years from now, it's not going to look out of date. Which proves my point, saying kicking back in a 90s Levi's ad. Right? Casual cool has come out of nowhere, as opposed to looking like a slob. But wearing ripped jeans, what would have happened if she would have had a Meghan ripped jean outfit on? And taken her hair and pulled it so fucking tight that, it practically stretches her entire face out. Excuse me. With all kinds of gaudy looking blankets and horse blankets and weird looking, always out of place, always wearing the wrong clothes for the wrong weather, and being like where I am in the Midwest on Lake Michigan here, or up further, we're right in the middle, and we're going to get, whatever is out east kind of hangs out here first. And it gets really humid here, and it gets very damp. And that in the summer, it makes it feel much more hot, and in the winter, much more cold. And neither Meghan nor Harry really seem to be the calm, cool, and collected couple they want to achieve. Therefore, my guess is that uh, you know, they got to be overheated, especially when Meghan wore that horrible suit in New York City to read her boring book to a bunch of poor black children. Good God. Um, I'm not the only one who didn't see it coming, but should I have been paying more careful attention? The whales have clearly been gravitating towards more contemporary looks, perhaps aiming for closer alignment with current trends. You just said it was out of style, though. In any case, you know what I'm saying? Or wait a minute. Let me finish the sentence then. Let me get it back into context. In any case, I really had not expected their Christmas missive to be so low key. Or is it really low key? Perhaps it is low key, high key, underdone glamour, as another writer calls it. Why don't you just cite where you're getting this art, who the writer is, and whatever, and who gives a shit what your opinion is anyway? A style, a style and an attitude reminiscent of the Diana era and of William's childhood. Well, again, classic styles with button-down shirts like that. I don't know, whatever you want to call them. How is that? It's never going to go out of style, right? You can buy that shit at Abercrombie and Fitch. It's almost the same shirt that you could have bought 20 years ago, right? Because I have a closet full of that stuff. And it honestly never goes out of style. I can put on something, even though it was trendy at the time, it still works now. It's just such bullshit. Although right now, I'm having issues because I have so much swelling in my pelvic region from having everything run over, and I'm pissed off about it. I really can't. Yeah, I'm having trouble finding stuff right now that doesn't look absurd. Okay. So I see nothing wrong with this. I've seen Meghan and Harry wearing shit like this. I'm sure even Charles wears stuff like this. Such bullshit. And by the way, let me bring it back here. I mean, what a good-looking family. I think in a way, they wanted to show how black and white is done right. But this Charlotte, I mean, is she not going to be like, just wait, give it just a couple of years. Where are Meghan's children anyway? I'm going to just breeze through this. Those paying attention to the whales' turnout will certainly have noticed an evolution on William's part. It should be Prince William, but that's okay. Because if I was reading this article when Charles was the Prince of Wales with Diana, it definitely would have said Prince Charles, and it definitely would have said Princess Di. Just saying. He has an evolution. Open collared shirts and the odd pair of jeans. Okay. What the fuck was he supposed to do? If he would have had something else on, you guys would have been criticizing that. Kate style dialectic. That, and that's another word a lot of writers are using right now that's being overused, but that's okay. Dialectic has evolved in a more marked fashion with a clear progression away from the safe school girly shift dresses of days gone by towards a more striking killer silhouettes, contemporary cuts, often featuring trousers, an entirely new discovery for the princess. No, I doubt that. And she just decided that she wanted to change her look. I think, her legs are too muscular though. She needs to tone down some of her exercises. I'm just saying. Um, and that can happen. She's a big runner and works out a lot. But sometimes you have to like alternate what you're doing because they almost are a little bit too muscular right now. Whatever. It's just bullshitting here. An outstanding example was Kate's get up for the Together Christmas Carol service on Friday, which saw her appear in a strategically cool coat by Taylor Chris Care and Holland Cooper trousers. The look was a blend of the angel and the assassin, and Lord, did it come off. And here it is. Yeah, she looks good. I don't know. I would have thought she would have worn a dress, but if she wants to do this right now and it's her style right now, that's fine. But I mean, I don't know. But I will tell you that if you're looking at former first ladies of the United States, let's just make that comparison. It's very, very normal to wear pants. I mean, we're looking at the whole Hillary Clinton thing when she began to make pantsuits a staple. I'd say that was about 1996. And believe me, I'm not a Hillary fan. Yeah, Melania Trump being another one that could pull it off. And I know that you guys don't like Trump. A lot of you people do. I do. And so I'm going to go ahead and say it's very Melania Trump-esque. It's typical kind of model-esque right now. But for the Queen of England, she's going to be queen in a few years. I don't know. Oh no. How else can we read the Wales revolutionary satirical positioning, thinking carefully? We might also discern a carefully wrought complimentary to the new king and queens of what? You know what? I'm not even going to read this because I want to get to something else. And then they say it's Kate, the Prince and Princess of Wales's attempt to just show the Montecito crew we can do it too. This is CGI picture. This is not Prince Harry. Look at his feet. Look at his shoes. Very strange. Totally CGI. Totally, stock. No. I mean, I don't even believe it for a second. I just don't. You know why? Because there's just no way. His shoulders are much broader than hers. And I don't really understand what this picture ever meant. And I've never liked it. And I've always thought it was tampered with. It was played around with for CGI to make Harry look bigger. Because quite frankly, this Trevor guy was probably more her type, her first husband, and stuff like that. But I would go here on this post here, Princess Deva Stellar. Oh my God. Honestly, I really dislike this app. I really don't like Twitter anymore. I really don't like any of the social media stuff anymore. It's just horseshit. 60 Minutes Australia. What the fuck is this race baiting segment? Let's talk about her behavior and actions, which has got nothing to do with R. Just say it. You know what I'm saying? People who can't say it they don't know. And I talk about this a lot. They don't know what it's like. Because they have no clue, because they're not part of a community that has a lot of Black people in it. I don't know how else to put it. And believe me, that's not always easy either for me. because I'm not always being treated, since all this crap started with like the Obama and all that shit, you know, I'm sorry. Since this stuff started becoming a big issue because Eric Holder said he was going to surround the Obama administration around race. You say that flat out. Okay. And then this whole thing started clamping down big time. And now, brings us to flash forward a year, 15 years later or whatever. I don't know. It's all bullshit. But it makes it harder on me because younger people are taught to never, ever even acknowledge or talk to a white person. So not all people are like that, but a lot are. And, I think I stood in line buying groceries a couple days ago for probably a good close to a damn hour, which wasn't easy on crutches. I don't even want to, it wasn't that big of a deal, but it sort of was because I've been in pain ever since because I had to just kind of stand there. And no, you can never find a handicap cart, so forget that. You better not even plan on that. But I was being treated very rudely by a couple of different people, and then people that are older, that are like, say, 40, 45 plus. It's just normal. It's always been normal to just treat each other with respect in the community and hang out with each other and not have a bunch of issues. And then if I go to it's the easiest place it's a restaurant / pub that's loaded down with, and I've talked about this with all different kinds of people. But plenty, Black people. There's a Ukrainian / Russian sort of community nearby. There's, very upper class people that just pop in there with their neighbors for a meal and a drink. And, everybody gets along just fine. So I don't think that Megan just ever walked down to the corner pub to grab a beer and hung out, before, and I don't know how okay, let's take a look at this.
You wouldn't encounter racism in the street so much around here, but when you get in that online world where people have that...
Vile. Vile. Absolutely vile.
A lot of people don't see it as racism, but there's a language, there's a narrative that's been here long before Meghan Markle, which bubbled to the surface.
Oh my God.
And there are ways of saying things, about them, exhausting.
Oh, come on. You sit in your community and say the same shit about me, girl.
Or a lot of it is also very misogynistic.
Here she's like fake 3 or 4 months pregnant. She was caught with the tags on her clothing like a day earlier with that pink dress. This was in Australia, wasn't it? She's a joke. And he's the most ridiculous. He's like the whitest white dude ever.
Oh, she's got Harry wrapped around her finger.
She does. Well, here's a swimming suit top. This was one of the ugliest outfits she ever. She just wasn't a nice person. And he's covering his hair with that Topics crap.
Whose idea do you think it was to jump and run here?
Oh, come on. You know what? People should have been able to... I can't even believe this was an issue because I don't remember it being one. At the time, they're making all these appearances, and because she's never was pregnant.
Do you think it's more Harry or more Meghan?
I think a lot of the push would have come from Harry. In fact, I wonder if he didn't choose a bride from another country.
Oh my God. Come on. Everyone turned him down because he's such a doofus. He had beautiful women lined at the door, but they were just like, hey man, I can't. You're too out there. I mean, he's running around with a damn Nazi uniform on for a costume party. Could you please address that? And if you're so black, what are you dyeing your hair blonde for? Or wearing a blonde wig for?
Because it gave him an out, because it gave him some security.
Oh, no, I don't think so.
And do you think, to a certain extent, that Meghan is an easy target for the British community because it's almost too hard to accept that Harry doesn't like it here?
Yeah.
So it's her fault.
Yeah, well, that too, and yeah, how can he possibly desert us? It must be her, and that's the misogyny bit as well, you know.
So I'm a misogynist now, okay.
He's, if I can use that term, he's pussy whipped, as they call it, you know.
He looks really unhappy about 99.9% of the time.
That's the term they use. I think it's
pussy whipped. Oh.
It's not just racism. I think it's racism. I think it's xenophobia. I think it's misogyny. She's a strong woman.
Well, that's a bunch of bullshit. All right, so we're going to end the video. And, oh, you know what? Let's do one more thing here before everything cuts out. Let's do Meghan Markle and Prince Harry Christmas card. All right. Was there one? Google News. They've released their card. Is it, which features a photo of the couple laughing and clapping at the closing ceremony. I think they were clapping for themselves. Oh no. Okay, let's I don't know if I can even get on this site. Is this it? When was this picture taken? Was that when she was trying to replicate something from 2018? Oh, I mean, everything was done. His hair was filled in. His eyes were touched up. Look at how white he is. And she's just... Her hair looks ratty. I'm sorry. She could have straightened it out and added a little more heat to smooth it down. She's got pieces on. She's got extensions. Oh, this. They're looking at themselves in a screen, in a jumbotron. I bet they are. I'm just saying. Archwell Foundation. So see, now this is going to be a write-off for them. So, yeah, that's it for me for now.